Hey guys, welcome back to the Intern Queen YouTube channel. Today we have a very special guest. We have Brittany Hennessy here, and she has a new book out called Influencer, yay. So I know Brittany before book because I would email her and pitch myself to her as an influencer. Look at that, right? Brittany does heads up influencer relations at Hearst, and so I'm always in touch with her, just kind of staying on her radar and telling her what I'm up to. And I was really excited to hear what she was up to with this new book. So I think all of you guys that are watching are gonna love her book because I know that you're all trying to build your brand and create your YouTube and your Instagram and be that influencer. So Brittany holds the secrets. So Brittany, what did I miss? How would you introduce yourself?
I think you did a great job. I'm just gonna bring you places with me.
Okay.
My drum roll intro. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I book all of the influencers for branded content, for Hearst digital media, the ones that your audience will know the most, 17 and Cosmo, obviously. Yep. Big deal with your demo.
Big deal.
And then also Marie Claire, Harper's Bazaar, Esquire, Town and Country, Dr. Oz, Redbook, Good Housekeeping, like long list. And yeah, really just keeping track of influencers, who's doing good things, who's for the right campaign, what brands do they like, whose content is going to resonate. You do a very good job of keeping in touch but not getting on my nerves. It's a very fine line, and you're great at it. Great.
Thanks. We talk a lot about that on our Intern Queen YouTube, about like the follow-up, but walking that line between being persistent and being annoying. So I appreciate that, Brittany. Thank you. Why should someone who wants to be an influencer read the book? Like, what's the biggest value that they're gonna get out of it?
Sure, so I think the book really focuses, it's really a business book.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of influencers have the most missteps. For the most part, influencers, a lot of aspiring influencers have figured out their voice. They figured out, like, this is the type of content I want to create. I want to do fashion or beauty or lifestyle. They have those sorts of things together. And especially since so many influencers are very young, they don't necessarily have internship experience. They don't necessarily have job experience.
Right.
And so a lot of being an influencer really is running a business.
Right.
If you've never had a job, you don't even know how to be a part of a business, let alone run one.
Right.
And so I think, just dealing with influencers and just when they're doing outreach, when you're making presentations, when you have deliverables, when you're doing contracts, invoicing, travel. These are all things that if you work in corporate America, this is your day-to-day. You know how to invoice for something, you know how to request travel accommodations, all these things. But younger influencers and even older influencers who maybe never had like a corporate job, all of this is foreign to them. And so, there is a lot in the book about, the first part of the book is building your audience. So there is, a bunch about figuring out your voice and having the right handle and all of that. Right. You have like packaging your brand, which is how to get press and all those things. But really, I really like part 3, which is monetizing your influence. And that really is like how to negotiate, how to read a contract, how to walk away from a deal and not make everyone angry. And those are things that people don't learn until they make a big mistake. And if I can keep people from making this big mistake by either giving you the right direction or pointing out when other people have made mistakes, which I do a lot in the book, that is, a job well done. And I think that's what people are really loving about the book.
Yeah, I love that. One of the mistakes that I used to make as an influencer is that I wouldn't ask, like if I was getting a deal or an opportunity, I wouldn't ask who the other people involved in the program were. And so I would say yes to these things, and then I would find out that I'm the intern queen, I gotta keep it rated G, but I'd find out that these people that were maybe not that appropriate, were in this campaign with me, and I was like, oh my goodness, like why didn't I ask that question? When you're an influencer, I think that's a job that sometimes your friends and family don't necessarily take seriously. They're like, why is she taking pictures of herself? What's happening? So it's really up to you, and up to the young people watching to take themselves seriously. And like you said, learn the business behind it.
Being an influencer can be a hobby.
Right.
which some people are just doing for free thing. It
Yeah.
can be your side hustle, which a lot of influencers, until they go full-time, have a full-time job.
Right.
And this is what they're like transitioning. Or it's your main gig. And a lot of influencers, this is how they pay their rent, their student loans, their mortgage. This is how they have health insurance. So they really have to be serious. And I think part of what I've liked about being on tour and doing like less, you know, millennial and Gen Z outlets, like I was on Megyn Kelly earlier this week, like
So cool.
older people are seeing the business that is influencer marketing, and it's starting to make a little more sense to them. Like, oh, this is why my daughter's on Instagram all day, because
Yeah.
she wants to have this business that these other girls have.
That's
And I
true,
think
yeah.
that will go a long way in legitimizing being an influencer as an actual career.
This is a specific question, so tell me what you think. So let's say that I'm a college girl and I have 800 followers on Instagram, but I'm really getting into it and I'm really starting to see some growth. Like, at what point do I say, oh, maybe I should pursue this? Like, is there a follower number? Like, once I get to 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers, I could start really taking myself seriously and finding a brand to work with, or seeing if I can get some free stuff. Like, is there any kind of benchmark?
So I think in terms of taking it seriously, you have to do that from day one.
Right.
Because if you're not trying, if you don't have a long-term vision, you will not see what steps to take to go forward. It's
Right.
just like picking a major. You take prereqs and you take a bunch of things, but like at some point, you have to decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do, because this is how you figure out what other courses you need to take to graduate. You can't decide the last day of school, like, oh yeah, maybe I'll want to do X, Y, and Z, because that's how
Right.
people end up in school for 2 more years.
Right.
People haven't taken any of the classes they need. So, you know, you really want to, if you're going to do it, you want to decide at the very beginning, like, I'm going to give this like an actual shot. Then you have milestones. And college students are the luckiest, because when they do college campaigns, it's more about volume than follower count. And
Right.
so companies, you know, Hunter Boots is a great company that they do huge campaigns with influencers with 1,500 followers, because there's the follower piece, but there's also this girl is wearing Hunter Boots on campus.
Right,
where
there's that
thousands of
niche.
People will see them.
Right.
And so if they have a new boot come out, sure, they can throw you a couple of $100 to post it on your Instagram, but they also know that you're now wearing these new boots on campus. And
Right.
that, I think for college students, they really have the most online, offline synergy.
Right.
And so college girls start making money, like 500 followers. People will
They're
cut you.
ready.
So it's very different than being, you know, trying to be like a mega beauty YouTuber where you're like in your little corner studio doing
Right.
tutorials. You need a lot more followers, but college girls, I would say 1,000, 1,500, you're already
good.
in like a good
Yeah.
spot.
No, I agree. And yeah, we work with a lot of college influencers, and we find the same thing. Like, once they have 1,000 followers, we're like, you can be in any of our campaigns. This is
Yeah.
great. So I love that advice. And because this is Intern Queen, like, if someone wants to be an influencer when they grow up, because now that's a thing that didn't used to be a thing, right? Where should they intern? Like, what would be a good internship for someone who one day wants, you know, themselves really to be the business?
Sure, I think it's also easier now than it used to be, because jobs like mine exist.
Right.
And you know, every major brand has a director of influencer marketing. And so that's really where you want to look, because you're going to learn what it's like being on the brand side and what types of emails your company responds to. When they ask influencers for a mood board, what does a good mood board look like? You're going to be on the receiving end. And
Ooh,
so
I've never made a mood board. I need a mood board. Oh.
They're great. When we tell people, like, you know, we're going to send you this dress to wear 5 ways, really good influencers send back a mood board and they're like, look, one, I'm going to do like Hollywood glam, and here's my makeup inspiration. and my
Oh,
earrings,
that's
and
so
my hair.
cool.
I'm going to try and shoot it at like a dark, smoky place. And they're like, number 2 is a California
That's
babe.
cool.
And then you like have an idea of like what they're going to send, as opposed to them being like, okay, and then they send you a ton of photos and you're like, I don't like any of
You
these.
don't like them, right?
When you work for a brand, those are things you get used to receiving.
Yeah.
And so you know to send those things.
That's cool.
Most successful influencers by far are all people who have worked in marketing.
What is like, hands down, number one piece of advice? Well, I don't know if you want to spill the number one piece of advice from the book. People need to buy the book to figure that out. But what is like, just if you had to share one more tip or piece of advice that you think would be really valuable for today's college student to hear?
I think the most important thing for college students is being an influencer is not a substitute for going to college. You hear a lot of influencers who are 19, 20, like, I didn't go to college. You don't need to go to college. You definitely need to go
to school.
College.
I agree. Go to school, people. Stay in school.
College shapes you as a person. It teaches you how to interact in groups.
Right.
It's supposed to teach you how to like not suck so bad as a human. And so these are things, you learn lessons in college that you will carry into your business.
Right.
And I can tell an influencer who went to college and an influencer who didn't. It's not to say that if you don't go to college, you're doomed. Of course not. There are many, many, many successful people who didn't go to college. But definitely there is an edge that you get from having the college experience, and people should not discount that. And when you're an influencer in college, you have a built-in follower base. There are always people on your campus who can follow you. So like, why would you skip that?
Oh my goodness.
Go to college, finish college.
For all of our viewers, if you guys have any questions for Brittany, you can definitely comment below and I will ping her with my follow-up skills and be like, Brittany, we have a question. Yeah. So we are going to give away 2 copies of Brittany's book. So please comment below and maybe you'll win her book. It's really good. I know we are currently taking notes on it in the office because we need to learn from her too. So bye everybody. Hope you enjoyed and thanks Brittany.
Of course. Thank you.